Hey everybody, welcome to Fandom Entanglement, and this is our first retro movie review. I don't know if we have an actual name for the series yet. It's the Retro Review series, where we're doing a series of one-off movie reviews. I've been kind of wanting to start doing this, and right now seemed like the perfect time, because the new Masters of the Universe movie is coming as of the recording of this. It's about a week away, so we're doing the 1987 movie with Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella. Take that as you will. Some people like it, some people don't. But we're going to talk about it. So I'm Damon, and this is my co-host, my partner in crime, Mike Watson.
Hello, everybody.
And also joining us, we've got Sam Fain.
Hello.
And our good friend Albie from Trexploration and
all the things.
Yeah, all the things. Yeah.
Greetings. How you doing? Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. So what you guys? Well, Sam. So what have you been up to?
Well, you know, so Fate's Wide Wheel has been on one of its periodic little hiatuses because I have been busy with shows. I just closed a show a couple of weeks ago here in the Chicagoland area, and then yeah, I have a few things planned to do. I've got a couple of things kind of already in the can, including an unboxing and review of the new Arrow Films release of another 80s film that I love, Inner Space, with Martin Short and Dennis Quaid. And
Good
let me
one.
just say, spoiler alert, if you have any interest in that film whatsoever, the 4K box set that they released is amazing. It's gorgeous. It's incredible. The artwork is great. All the special features, the extras that they have. Can't recommend it enough, and the film looks amazing as well. But yeah, just being a parent, hanging out with the kids. My birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Thank you. And I'm very much looking forward to the new Masters of the Universe movie. Honestly, I don't get to the movies as much as I would like, but this is one that I am really, really looking forward to seeing in theaters. And it looks like they've really done an incredible job with it based off everything I've seen so far and some of the stuff I've read, but I've been trying not to read too much because I don't, want to get any spoilers or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I pretty much have had like nonstop acting gigs since last August.
Awesome.
Taking a little bit of a break right now. So I haven't had a ton of content coming out for Fate's Wide Wheel, but I was doing a lot of, movie reviews, 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray reviews, focusing a lot on Hong Kong films, some old, martial arts films, Shaw Brothers movies, that sort of stuff, which was a lot of fun. Something very, very different for me, and just a way to kind of, keep things going. And there will certainly be more, with, again, another pivot, because I'll be talking about Inner Space, soon as well. So yeah, that's my long-winded way of saying I'm doing great. I've been busy. I haven't had time for a lot, but I'm looking forward to talking about this movie tonight with you guys.
Yeah, me too. And how about you, Albie?
Just been editing, cranking away at YouTube, trying to make that $3 a day. Put at least 6 hours into those $3 each time. Just having fun, reviewing stuff. We're talking a lot of Star Trek on Trexploration, and we're also branching out. I think our last two popular videos, one was for WrestleMania with Steve Shives and Matt Myra, and the other one was about Stuart Fails to Save the Universe. So I think if we don't focus on Star Trek on our Star Trek channel, we might do well in the future.
Yeah, I know. And you've been doing some, sliders stuff with us. We're kind of in the middle of that.
I see why you wanted to review this. So this is kind of like in the Sliders universe, isn't it?
A little bit. Little bit.
Isn't it?
A little.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you giving me the choice between movies. Damon said I could be this, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, or Porky's 2, so I picked this.
Porky's 2. Wow.
I don't know why 2. You would think you would start with 1 when you're starting your movie review podcast.
When it's Porky's.
Yeah, just to be clear on this movie series too, like, also, I don't think this necessarily has to be me and Mike, or me, or like it could be me, could be Mike, it could be anybody really.
Just
if
me and
anybody
Sam.
has, Yeah, it could be. Yeah, no, literally, it could be. If you have an idea for a movie that you want to do a little review of, hit me up and or hit us up and I'll see what we can do. If I could watch it, if I have time to, because as Sam said, we're all kind of busy parents, so finding the time to do this, actually, I got a little bit lucky because the family's away right now. So, all right, so this movie was released August 7th, 1987. I don't have an official summary other than what I saw on IMDb. It's pretty simple. Just the heroic warrior He-Man battles against the evil lord Skeletor and his armies of darkness for control of Castle Grayskull. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And of course, the two top-billed actors in this movie were Dolph Lundgren as He-Man, most powerful man in the universe. I got my He-Man figure right here. Here he is.
Oh, nice.
That's the way he's supposed to look.
Yeah. Dolph had the 80s hair. Wow.
Yeah. But yeah. So his first role, I looked it up. It was A View to a Kill, which I think was 1985, and then that was followed up by what is probably one of his most famous roles as Ivan Drago in Rocky IV.
I must break you.
I must break you. And he also reprised that role in Creed 2 in 2018. I have not.
Really? I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I think I saw the first Creed movie. I did not see the second one. I think it was.
Yeah.
Was that like
I should watch the three of them, right? I have the popcorn bucket for one of them. I'm not sure which, but I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah. And then he also did play Frank Castle. I think it was the first time they did the live action version of The Punisher.
Yeah.
In 1989, and he appeared opposite Jean-Claude Van Damme in Universal Soldier.
Mm-hmm.
There is a Jean-Claude Van Damme story. I guess I'll mention that later about the potential sequel that they had for.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can mention that later because
for sure.
Yeah.
Is that the one with robots?
I think it was Cyborg, right?
It was Cyborg.
Yeah. We could talk about that a little later. So that's kind of funny. And he is also in all 4 Expendables movies, which I have not seen any one of those.
I haven't seen part 4.
No.
After 3 of them, I figured I had it.
We've got Frank Langella as Skeletor, the evil lord of destruction.
Wow.
There's Skeletor.
These are your toys.
Yeah, these are also these are not the vintage toys. These are like the newer ones. They're called Origins. They
look the same.
Like they kind of look like the old ones, but these things you can like literally like pop the arms out and stuff.
Oh, nice.
You can take all of the pieces apart and mix and match things, which my son loves doing. So, but anyway,
very cool. Very cool.
His IMDb credits are too numerous, are longer than all of our arms combined, I think. Right?
What do we know mostly of, though?
What I recognize, he does have a Star Trek connection. We have a few Quantum Leap and Star Trek connections.
We've got some.
In this movie.
There's
We've
plenty
got
of
quite
connections.
A few.
Yeah,
a couple, 3 at least by marriage.
Yeah, he was uncredited. I didn't realize he was uncredited as Minister Jaro in all 3 parts of the season 2 opener of Deep Space Nine. It was the Homecoming,
wow.
The Circle, and the Siege. And then he also played the role of Perry White in Superman Returns. And I never saw the movie, but he played the role of Richard Nixon in Frost/Nixon from 2008.
Okay. Yes.
He was nominated for an Academy Award for that.
Yeah, I did see that.
Wow.
And I like Superman Returns.
He won a Tony for the stage play version of it.
Oh, cool.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh. And I know he said this was like one of his most favorite roles to play. His son was 4 at the time and was basically going around the house saying, I have the power. And he said he had to take on the role, or that pretty much convinced him to take it on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I will say, I also remember seeing Frank Langella. He did the off-Broadway production of A Christmas Carol in New York.
Oh.
I think, I don't know when it was. It was the late 90s, early 2000s. I think he played Scrooge. So
I'd like
that
to
would have been
see
super cool.
Yeah. I remember seeing him in that. Okay. Starring Billy Barty as Gwildor. He's the creator of the Cosmic Key. He also, his IMDb credits are too numerous to mention, but you probably have seen him as High Aldwin in Willow from 1988.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I know he's done a lot of other things, but John Cypher as Man-at-Arms, the heroic master of weapons. There he is.
That casting was silly for me. I just felt like they grabbed somebody from Crafty or something and said, "Here, put this costume on." I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's kind of. I mean, a little. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it was gray versus red hair or something.
Yeah.
That got me.
Yeah. And he has a ton of credits on IMDb, but nothing I recognize. So there's that. Okay. Courteney Cox as Julie Winston.
Woo!
Do we really need to say who she is?
I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Obviously,
Yeah.
Monica Geller.
Quite a few
breakout.
Funko Pops of her.
Yeah. I put this as a sort of like a Quantum Leap connection because Jennifer Aniston was her co-star in Friends, but she was in Jennifer Aniston was in Nowhere to Run from the original Quantum Leap. So
and she still won't do my podcast. One day.
Yeah. Okay, James Tolkan, rest in peace. I know he passed away earlier this year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but he was
94.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow, he was up there. He played Lubic. I'm calling him the master of calling out slackers.
Slacker. It's weird.
There's not a far leap between
No.
Kevin and Marty, honestly, as far as characters go. Except one of them's the star of the movie and the other one's a supporting character, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the lines even I think was a Marty McFly line, like, "What the hell is happening? What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Yeah. So, yeah. What the hell is that? That was it.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen him in Back to the Future except for just recently. I saw him in this and Top Gun. So I think like the next three movies will probably be him.
Yeah, right.
I was 40 years late to Top Gun.
Yeah. So obviously Mr. Strickland in the first two movies and Marshall Strickland in the third one. So it's in the whole trilogy.
Discipline.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Remember that word, son. Discipline. All right, Chelsea Field as Teela, the heroic warrior goddess. This is what
the only
Teela's
person I
supposed to
met
look like.
in this movie. Yes.
Oh yeah. I mean, you have a story with about Chelsea. Well, kind of a story.
Kinda, yeah. Like I didn't know she was in this. Really, I didn't connect the two. But when I went to see Scott in New Hampshire for Man of La Mancha, she played the female lead in that, and she came out with Scott afterwards to like take pictures and autographs and stuff. And Brian from Al's Place was just like, she was in Master of the Universe. She was Teela. I was like, oh, cool. I didn't know that. So at least I knew it while I was getting a picture with her and an autograph and stuff.
Oh yeah, cool.
She seemed really nice. But you know what freaked me out? She was kind of short. So when I was watching this, Courteney Cox was short compared to her. So she must be miniature. I didn't never realize that.
Yeah. Well, she's, for anybody that doesn't know, she is the real life wife of Scott Bakula, the star of Quantum Leap. So
she was good in that too.
And has a further connection by way of separation because she was in an episode of Airwolf. That was like one of her first gigs ever.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, another Belisario and Deborah Pratt / kind of
right. Yeah.
connection.
Oh,
yeah, she was very nice.
Yeah.
And I got to say, she didn't look much different than 1987. I mean, she looked really good.
Yeah, she's aged well.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
She was also in 21 episodes of NCIS New Orleans as a love interest for Dwayne Pride, who is played by none other than Scott Bakula. So.
Right. Yeah, there you
I
go.
probably watched 6 episodes of that. I was CSI'd out by the time he got the role.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's always fascinating to me that they didn't get married until 2009.
Really?
Yeah, they'd been together for like 15 years, but they didn't actually get married until 2009.
Kind of smart. You really never know.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
Well, I think Scott was married before that. Right?
He was married during.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
So this is sordid the Hollywood gossip, he had a stalker, and the stalker was stalking him and sent death threats to Chelsea Field because she was upset that he would break up his marriage for Chelsea Field, and not for her, the stalker.
Wow.
Yeah, and there was restraining orders and police involvement, all sorts of wild. Yeah.
Not good. But if anybody wants to stalk me, my information is easily available online. I'm lonely. I could use some adventure in my life.
Stalker wanted.
Stalker for hire. All right, we got Robert Duncan McNeill as Kevin. I guess he's the master songwriter. I guess, right?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah,
Nick Locarno.
That's right, Nick Locarno. Yeah,
and Tom Paris in Voyager. Yeah,
he was such a baby in this movie, so young.
Yes, that's what I said too. I was like, oh my god, he's just a little baby. Yeah, and that curly hair. Wouldn't that have made Tom Paris a cooler character if he had that hair?
Yeah, he should have did that in at least one episode. That would have been cool.
I mean, he was only like 22 when they made this movie.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was gonna say he still doesn't look like he belongs in high school.
No.
Oh, sure. No.
Not at all. They both look in their mid-20s.
No.
It's like, which one's the mom, which one's the daughter? It depends on what you call them, you know?
Yeah.
Good casting, though. I thought they carried the movie well, the two of them, for what it was.
Yeah. Right. And he was also one of the executive producers on a little show called Chuck, which I've told Mike about, that he really needs to check that show out.
Resident Alien. Maybe Resident Alien, too.
Who knows? Maybe at some point when we're done with Sliders, I don't know when. Maybe we'll talk about it. But I forgot about this note, Mike. You had
he was also in Quantum Leap.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Leap to Die For, was it?
No.
Good Night, Dear Heart.
Good Night, Dear Heart.
That's it. Good Night, Dear Heart.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I totally forgot about that.
I always get those confused.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I can't believe I forgot about that too. Wow.
Yeah.
That's why I tried to get him on my show, but he said no.
Yeah.
I still contend Good Night, Dear Heart is one of the best hours of Quantum Leap with a piss poor resolution at the very end. But regardless of that, even that aside, the episode itself is still one of my favorite episodes.
Agreed. All around.
It's a pretty good episode. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, we've got Christina Pickles as the Sorceress, the heroic guardian of Castle Grayskull. Here she is. Yeah.
That figures in my daughter's room right now.
Yeah. Her most notable role was, this is what I did remember her from, Nurse Helen Rosenthal in all 137 episodes of St. Elsewhere.
St. Elsewhere. For some reason, I was thinking Doogie Howser. I knew it was a medical thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. And she also played Monica's mother, Judy Geller, in 19 episodes of Friends.
Wow.
Yeah. I saw that on IMDb.
I did not connect that. Very cool.
Yeah. And Amato will kill me if I did not mention that she also appeared in The Wedding Singer. As Angie in 1998.
Who was she in The Wedding Singer? I've seen it like 15 times.
Angie, I think that was the mother of was that Drew Barrymore's mother?
Drew Barrymore's mom?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She also she was also in the Baz Luhrmann, Leonardo DiCaprio, Claire Danes, Romeo and Juliet. She played Montague's the mother. Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah. In the and role, we've got Meg Foster as Evil-Lyn, the evil warrior goddess. This is her original yellow skin
Serenity has an Evil-Lyn, but the new one from the animated Kevin Smith Netflix.
Right. Oh, yeah. Quantum Leap and Star Trek connection with her. She is Laura Fuller in all 3 episodes of the trilogy.
Yep.
Quantum Leap from season 5. And she was also in 1 episode of Deep Space Nine, season 4, episode 20, The Muse.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
And
her eyes are unmistakable.
Oh, yeah. Those
eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she also returned to the world of Motu, as we call it. In 2024, she provided the voice of Motherboard in 3 episodes of Revolution on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I did not know that. Very cool.
And I still have not watched Revolution yet. After all this time, I still have not. It was like the 5 episodes. That's all it was. And I saw Revelation. I liked it. I mean, I liked Revelation. Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen Revolution either, actually, so I'm right there with you.
I was so excited that it got renewed, and I didn't watch it. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Yeah, no, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, and
Meg,
here, Mike,
Meg Foster also has a Sliders connection since we're currently doing Sliders. She'll be in season 4's Slide by Wire when we get to it. And also, she was Hera in the Xena and Hercules universe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was pretty popular too.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. I mean, there's not many more with the cast. It's just additional cast. They just, since these are characters that exist. Tony Carroll as the Beast Man. This is what Beast Man's supposed to look like, but he looked more like I think he looked more like this, right?
Yeah,
Grizzlor.
Yeah.
He kind of looked more like that.
Kind of like Chewie almost.
Yeah. But that's what he's supposed to look like. I remember being like the Beast Man. I'm like, what? This is not Beast Man. we'll get into
well
that.
Again, the thing is though, is I will say, we can talk a little bit more about this later, but the fascinating thing about Masters of the Universe in general is that so many of these characters have multiple origins and multiple presentations just by virtue of the cartoon, the mini comics, other series. Even the mini comics often would differ in their depiction of the characters. Initially Beastman in particular was portrayed very differently in the mini comics, and then the animated series came out, and then even in the mini comics they shifted his portrayal a bit after that. So like it's one of the fascinating things about, I think, Masters of the Universe as a whole. But yeah, I'm sure we'll talk more about it because I have a feeling that there's going to be some difference of opinion when it comes to the portrayal of some of these characters in the movie.
All right, Pons Mar as Sarad. The original character made for the movie. There was an action figure of Sarad. I never had that back in the day. That was right around the time I had stopped collecting. So I'll probably talk more about that later too.
I had it.
Okay.
I had it. I tried to set my carpet on fire with it.
He had it was like
it sparked.
It was like a flint.
It sparked, and there was literally they pulled the toy eventually because they were worried about kids starting fires with it, basically.
Right.
It sparked
because it sparked and it smoked and it it was a real deal.
It was a lighter that just needed some lighter fluid.
That's exactly what it was.
Back then,
that's not a joke. It was literally that's literally what it was.
Back then, all kids had lighter fluid. Like there was no rules. I did.
And they had a figure for it, and meanwhile they kill him off, and like they don't even show him doing anything in the movie really. And he's more like the Predator. He really looks like something out of Predator, really. I mean that's what I thought. Anyway.
I got Chewie vibes.
It's interesting because most of the original characters in the film definitely had analogs, and I wonder if he was supposed to be some sort of Snake Man analog almost, with King Cobra. No,
Cobra Khan.
Cobra Khan. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the same thing with the Triclops and Blade and Card being kind of the trap jaw stand-in, and they all kind of had those analogs. And Gwildor is obviously the Orko stand-in. So
of course.
Of
course.
I remember being most disappointed about no Orko when I watched this film.
Yeah.
Because I was way into Orko. And just everything looked different than the cartoon, so I was confused.
Yeah, there's still. I mean, the Facebook groups. There are people who are like, "Where's Orko in the new movie?" Because they don't see him in it. Like,
I hope there's an Orko.
I don't know. I don't expect it to be exact. Well, we'll get into it anyway. Okay, you might as well say this one, Mike. Anthony DeLongis.
Anthony DeLongis was Blade, and he would go on to have 5 appearances on Star Trek Voyager as First Maj Kala, the main Kazon villain in the first couple seasons.
And who did he play in this?
He was Blade.
Okay.
Yeah.
The guy with the blades.
Yeah.
The guy with the 2 blades.
I did not put the two together.
Yeah.
One of the things that's interesting about him too is that he is indeed a master swordsman. That's his thing. And he was actually in an episode of Highlander, and that episode that he is in is considered to be the best sword fight of the entire television series.
Oh, really?
Because he knew what he was doing, and Adrian Paul, because it was in season 5. And so by the time season 5 rolled around, Adrian Paul was no slouch himself. So the two of them were able to just go and have a pretty incredible fight.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Send me a link later.
I also found he was in an episode of Babylon 5, among many other credits. But just recently, this is why I kind of geeked out a bit about this. I only learned about a month ago that not only is he also from London, Ontario, like me, he went to my high school.
Wow.
Now, so we're both alumni of the same high school, although 34 years apart.
Cool.
So,
That's cool.
it was a pretty neat discovery. First, I saw Maj Kala, and then I saw, oh, he was in Masters of the Universe. I really have to watch this movie now.
Very cool.
All right. Maybe I think just the next two. Robert Towers as Karg, which is another made up character for. I didn't realize the analogs for the. So now it makes a little sense what you were saying, Sam, about that. He's kind of like supposed to be the Trapjaw type character, but maybe never had an action figure until the Classics era, which I never. That was like I think the late. I don't know. 10s or something? I don't know. Yeah.
I had a few Classics figures actually, and the pair that I had, I know I no longer have them, were actually the film versions of He-Man and Skeletor. The only thing that stinks about the film versions of He-Man, and this also happened with the Chronicles version that Mattel did not that long ago, is that they didn't have the likeness rights for Dolph Lundgren. So the face sculpt does not look like Dolph, unfortunately.
But the Skeletor figures look pretty cool. I kind of wanted to get them.
Well, the other thing that was really cool about those figures too is it was the first time we ever got a Cosmic Key that actually looked like the Cosmic Key in the film. Because the original Masters of the Universe toy line, the design of the Cosmic Key was very different than what we saw in the film.
Yeah, I had Gwildor as a kid, but that was like the only one I had of the movie figures.
I did have them all. The Gwildor, Sorod, and Blade.
All right, and last one, Barry Livingston as Charlie. This is what you.
Oh, he will be coming up soon for us in our Sliders rewatch. He was in a season 3 episode, and many other credits aside from that. But
he's coming up soon. Then.
Yeah, he was the music shop owner, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, he's done a ton of stuff, and he's literally been working since like 1962 because he was a child actor. Started working when he was 9 years old, and he was on that show My Three Sons. I don't know if you have heard of it, but
I think I've seen every episode. That's when not much was on television back then.
All right. I mean, we don't have any notes for any of the other. This is just the rest of the cast. Jessica Nelson as Monica, Gwyn Guilford as Mrs. Winston, Walter Scott as Mr. Winston, Walt P. Robles as Carl the janitor. Poor Carl. His face, man, he got beat up pretty bad. Cindy,
you don't never want to know.
You don't never want to know. Cindy Amon as Gloria. Peter Brooks as the narrator. It was pretty interesting voice that they did at the beginning there. And Richard Bonder. I'm Pig Boy. I feel like Pig Boy is supposed to be somebody. I have no idea who that is.
So what happened there was a contest, and I guess this fellow won the contest to be in the film.
Okay.
And he, toward the end, hands the scepter to Skeletor just before he becomes Master of the Universe. So it's just like a very brief scene, but he looks, he's got makeup on him to look like a pig.
I saw the name in the credits, but I was confused, so I missed it.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So he didn't even have a line. He just won a contest and got a credit in the film.
Pig Boy. He's probably still doing the convention circuit, signing autographs.
Exactly.
The funny thing is that and this is already something that's been kind of announced, so I don't think it's too much of a spoiler, but he's in the new movie. The character is in the new movie.
It is supposed to be the same. No. I'm thinking Goatman or whatever. Oh, Pig Boy is in it? Okay.
Yeah. Pig Boy and Goatman both apparently are in like the same scene or something, but
I think some early showings are happening because I saw some reviews on YouTube. I didn't watch them yet because I want to.
Well, it had its premiere. Last week, and early screenings are happening right now, and then wide releases next Wednesday, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you were like a Club Grayskull member for their Mattel Creations site, some people got random invites to do these things, and some famous YouTubers like Pixel Dan and Geek Dad Life, they got to go to LA to see the premiere last week.
Cool.
So
yeah, I think Amazon sent out like random like Prime members got an invite code for it as well or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Because let us not forget, the movie is produced by Amazon.
Oh, that's cool.
That's right.
So they might have an early showing, actually, right? Because they usually do for Amazon when you're a Prime member. A couple days early.
Yeah. Mm.
We'll see.
Okay. So written by David Odell. This was produced by Menahem. I don't know how you say their names. Menahem Golan and Yorum Globus.
You got it.
Okay. Golan Globus. The Canon Group. Do we want to talk about that quick? Golan Globus and
oh boy,
what the Canon. I mean, it's unmistakably 80s. This movie is like just.
Oh yeah.
So the fascinating thing about the Canon Group to me is that they started off producing softcore porn films. And one of the ways why I know this, and it's burned into my brain, is because there's an incredible documentary about Canon called Electric Boogaloo. And this documentary was available. I can't remember if it was Amazon Prime or Netflix. It was one of the two. And about 7-8 years ago, I was watching it at work. And I was in my cubicle during lunch, and I would watch movies, on Netflix during my lunch break. And I start watching this film, and within the first 5 to 10 minutes, there's probably a good 15 seconds of nothing but bare breasts as they drive home the point that this was a softcore porn production studio.
What was this called again? Just for research purposes.
And I was like, no, I can't. I'm at work. I can't watch this at work. Luckily, no one else saw. A catastrophe was avoided, but I had no idea that that's what I was going to be seeing.
That's the difference between me and you, Sam. That's mostly what I do at work.
But there are interviews. There are interviews with them. There's interviews with Dolph Lundgren, with a number of folks involved with their films and the production company. And it's so fascinating the journey that they took, because they went from being, again, just this distributor for European softcore porn films to having a couple anyway of hits of blockbuster films, and their association with like Chuck Norris, and getting rights to some properties. Like they did a deal with Marvel, so they had rights to Spider-Man and Captain America and Punisher, and they were going to produce these movies. And at the time that the company folded, two of the movies that were on their slate were Spider-Man and Masters of the Universe Part 2. And neither one of those happened, and I'm sure we can talk about the sequel stuff later, but it's just a fascinating kind of rise and fall, and the way that they would leverage films that had not even come out yet in order to raise funds for films that they wanted to make next. So there were times when they would literally say, "Hey, we're going to make this movie, and it's going to make millions of dollars. Don't you want to invest in this movie that we're going to make after that movie that we're going to make?" And they would get people to give them money to do that. So they were getting millions and millions of dollars to make these movies, and kind of betting on the fact that like the movie that would be coming out next year would make enough so that they could make the movie they wanted to make after that. But they would use the money that they had been given to make that movie to make the movie that they were going to produce.
Almost a Ponzi.
Just wild. Yeah, absolutely wild. And of course, they would try to buy up properties that they thought would be successful. Superman being another one, because they made Superman 4, Quest for Peace. But just, the story of Canon Films is, again, it's so fascinating. And they were able to just make some films that hit big. Rambo First Blood Part 2, I think, was the inspiration for like Missing in Action. And that with Chuck Norris helped to kind of like really break them through. But they had, I think the biggest movie they did wasn't a Chuck Norris movie. It was actually a Stallone film. I think it was Cobra.
Yeah, I think I saw
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, just again, just a fascinating company, and they ended up producing all sorts of films. Obviously, action films like that, 80s action movies were their wheelhouse, but they also did like dance movies, musicals, romance, all sorts of just wild out there stuff. And again, I think if you really want to see kind of an out there documentary, check out Electric Boogaloo because it's fascinating.
Cool. All right.
Will do.
Yep. All right. And directed by Gary Goddard. Is that it? Goddard?
Goddard.
I think it's Goddard. Yeah.
Goddard. Okay. Gary Goddard. Okay. Wow. We are like 45 minutes into our recording and we still haven't even talked about the movie yet.
Well, we don't need to spend too much time talking about him because he's a sex pest and just, yeah.
All right. Who wants to go first? Albie or Sam? What you first thought of this movie?
I'd say Sam's more knowledgeable.
Okay, so Sam, you yeah.
So I saw this movie the weekend that it came out. You know, my parents took my sister and I, all four of us went to see it. And I remember at the time, I think any disappointment I had over not seeing the cartoon or the mini comics brought to the big screen, honestly, it eroded pretty quickly because I just enjoyed what we got. I enjoyed this version of the story. And I've always been the type of person that in general, I'm not too married to a particular version of a story or a world. And I feel like if somebody can tell a good story in the sandbox, if they change some of the pieces, I'm okay with that. The one exception potentially being, which I want to give it another shot, was when the Wheel of Time series came out on Amazon Prime. I remember watching the first episode and being like, what the is this? Because it was so not that, and I was really surprised, but I want to give it another shot because I feel like maybe I was jaded. But that said, I didn't have a problem with the changes. I didn't have a problem with the lack of characters. My expectations, as far as I remember, I was 6 years old when it came out. My expectations, I definitely wanted to see Orko. I wanted to see, Cringer and Battle Cat. Those are two of my favorite characters, and when they weren't there, there was definitely a little bit of disappointment. But I never had a problem with the story taking place on Earth for parts of it. Obviously something that's not touched on in the film at all, although it will be a big part of the new film, which again, that's not a spoiler, it's in the trailers, is that He-Man is half human, like half from Earth. Like his mother is from Earth. And so I always thought that to me, my 6-year-old brain, it kind of made sense that part of the movie would take place there, even if that's never touched upon in the film. So I didn't have any issues with that. And I came to love the movie. I had a video, a VHS that I'd recorded of the film off of Showtime that I watched endlessly. And I remember that the tape started to cut out at the very end. And so when Skeletor at the post-credit scene pops out of the liquid, it says, "I'll be back," the tape warbled because it was running out, and it was always so weird. It was like nightmare fuel for a young kid. But yeah, I enjoyed it then. I think that there was a time when I looked at it as being, this is a bad movie and it's uncool to like this movie, but I had watched it quite a few times. And then I revisited it probably, I don't know, about 10 years ago or so, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I think that something that has happened numerous times when I go back to watch films that were once considered bad, I often find myself enjoying them quite a bit. And at the risk of comparison being the death of joy, I can't help but look at this movie and compare it to movies made within the past 10, 15 years and think to myself, if this movie was made today with just a little bit more money behind it, it would have been a huge success. Like there are movies getting made today that are not too far removed from this film, as far as I'm concerned, that get so much praise, whether it's from critics or audiences or the box office numbers. And so it's always been a shock to me that the movie had been derided for so long. Now it has a bit of a cult following. I think there's plenty of people out there that really genuinely love it. And I am certainly one of those people. And one of the things that I love so much about it and loved since day one is the score. I think that the score for this film by Bill Conti is incredible. This is actually signed by Bill Conti.
Nice.
I think that this is the score for this movie is incredible. And you know, knowing that it's the same guy that did Rocky and the Karate Kid,
it's
kind of like, wow,
okay. Yeah.
That's interesting to me because it sounds so different from those films in a lot of ways.
The score is really good.
The score. Yeah, I love it. I think, you know, Frank Langella is incredible. I think, you know, as we mentioned earlier, Courteney Cox and Robert Duncan McNeill do such a great job. I mean, Courteney Cox is actually very good in the movie. You know, I think everyone does a great job. I think Dolph Lundgren, you know, is a really fun He-Man and certainly rises to the occasion, especially in the later scenes of the film and, you know, the standoff with the final, you know, battle of Skeletor and stuff. So I really like it. I still like it. I find it to be a really fun way to pass, you know, an hour or 45 minutes.
Yeah. All right. What did you think, Albie?
It's weird. I think when we were talking about this, I told you I had seen it 10 years ago, but I think that was kind of like, I think the 1980s was 20 years ago because I'm watching this and I'm like, Courteney Cox, Robert Duncan McNeill, the guy from Back to the Future. I'm like, last time I saw this, I had no idea who Courteney Cox was or Robert Duncan McNeill. So it had to be basically when it originally came out.
Probably.
I don't think I saw it in the theater, but probably one of those Showtime showings. But I'm envious of you, Sam, because you recorded it and I never did. And I think if I would have watched this one like 20 times as a kid, this would be one of my top films. But for some reason, it just never hit for me. And I think I only saw it the once until I watched it tonight. But it definitely made me want to watch the new movie coming out. And it made me want to watch this one again with Serenity and maybe a few more times. So maybe I can like it more. To me, it was a little clunky, a little low budget looking, except for certain things. Like Skeletor looked amazing. Some of the costumes looked amazing. The other ones looked they were put together in the last minute. And it was very, for me, it looked like dollar store He-Man. And I guess that's because they didn't use the ones I was used to. And just when I watched He-Man, I was a little kid and I liked the little kid parts. I liked Orko. I liked Cringer, Battle Cat. I liked seeing Adam. I liked all these things that were, you know, not the battles, not the He-Man versus Skeletor at the end, but just like where they would have those little like comedic musical notes when something would happen. And that was all missing in this film for me back then. Maybe that's why I didn't connect with it. But watching it now, I appreciated it more, I think.
All right, Mike. You might as well.
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot of the same things. The first thing I actually want to say is I've been meaning to rewatch this since about March of 2021. So when I got a copy of it. So doing this review or Damon suggesting this for review is the final push I needed, apparently. So thank you, Damon.
You're welcome.
We must all be of a similar vintage because I think I have very vivid memories of watching this for either my 6th or 7th birthday party. But it was on this relatively new technology called cable television, and, which we had recently got. And it was on a station called First Choice Super Channel, which eventually was renamed the Movie Network. I remember watching with my friends and having the same problems with it as a kid. It was not the cartoon. Yeah. Like who are these people? Who are these? Where's Orko? Where's Cringer? Yeah. But it was definitely a very nostalgic watch. Watching this again. It is not a super fleshed out story, but it's fun. It's silly. It's got lots of action. You know, loosely based on the He-Man franchise, and it's mostly entertaining. And I feel like it's been almost 40 years since I've seen it, I guess. I don't want to make it another 40 before I watch it again. I think when my kids are a little bit older, I think we'll have a watch again with them.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I'm trying to remember. Like I'll repeat some of the same things. I remember that's the context for me. Is this came out right around the time I was sort of like, I had all the toys. I had like everything up until like that last year. Like 1987 was the last year of the vintage toys, and my sister had just been born in 86, so it was like I was already sort of outgrowing it. I think the cartoon shows like He-Man and She-Ra were both off the air at that point.
Love She-Ra.
So yeah. But I remember like, okay, so what was I, 11 when this? So when I was like 11 when the movie came out, I was like, I still wanted to see the movie, and I do remember initially feeling like I didn't love it as a kid, and you know, especially with Dolph Lundgren and the way he was, you know, he still was, he had that real heavy accent. He wasn't really like, you know, clear with his articulation. But I love Frank Langella. Like, he was great. Meg Foster as Evil-Lyn was great. I mean, looking back on it now, like Sam said, it's kind of like a cult like movie now. Like,
yeah,
I appreciate it more now because of, as we said, it's just simple fun. It's not like great, like fantastic in my opinion, but like it's still really it's good. It's fun if you want like a nice like action, and there's some humorous parts of it, and so I do appreciate it more now than I did back then. But I remember thinking, what the heck is all of this? Where are all the characters? Where are all the characters? We didn't get the new movie's gonna have a lot of more characters, so there's that.
You know, one of the things I'll throw out there is that it ended up influencing my play just as much, honestly, as the cartoon did. I mean, after seeing this movie, you know, He-Man had a laser rifle or laser pistol. You know, I would because, you know, they made those weapon packs,
right,
and it, you know, so I had like extra, and so I would give him one, whereas before he only ever had his sword. I never gave him the axe. I know he came with the axe, but I never gave him the axe. He always had his sword, and after seeing this movie, it really kind of drove home the idea that, like, wow, there's so many kind of other variations to this that you can go with. And one of the things that also happened is that I started using Scare Glow as Skeletor because he looked more like the movie Skeletor than the actual Skeletor did. And it really kind of changed the way that I played. Whereas before it was very much kind of the cartoony, you know, no one really gets hurt, blah 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 sort of play. And after seeing the movie, I don't know, it grounded it in a way. It was still very imaginative. I still had a lot of fun, but I started to kind of be more influenced by the film than I was even the cartoon series. And I think that there was something about that was a testament to just how well done overall the film was, I think, because I actually don't think it's clunky, and I think that it's paced really well, and I think that the story, while simple, is very clear, easy to follow. You know, at the end of the day, what more do you need to know, right? Skeletor invades Castle Grayskull / Eternia, and you know, He-Man and Co. have to try to save the Sorceress, and by way of that, the, you know, Eternia and Grayskull. So it felt like it worked, and I remember even at one point, you know, wishing that they would have made some of the human characters, right? You know, I mean, I wanted to have a Lubic, you know, like I want a lot of us want a Lubic to throw into my my He-Man, but yeah, I really, I don't know, I just feel like a very big fan of this film, and I think one of the things that I appreciate about it too is the way that it separates itself from He-Man and kind of stands on its own as its own thing. And there's some interviews out there and some things about how it was influenced by Jack Kirby's work and like the Fourth World and Fantastic Four, and that, and all of that really kind of comes through. And I think that they did some really unique, inventive stuff with the film, and I think that even though the budget was not, they certainly, their reach exceeded their grasp in some cases, but I think that knowing what we know now as adults, right, about production design and the creation of this sort of stuff, they clearly had a very strong vision of what they wanted this world to look like, to feel like. And while I agree not everything holds up, I do think that what they actually were able to do, it might not always be the perfect embodiment of what they wanted, but it hints at something that I think had a lot of effort and thought put into it. And so that's also one of the reasons why I find myself kind of being such a staunch defender of the movie, because there was clearly a lot of effort put into creating and crafting this version of Masters of the Universe, even if it wasn't necessarily what I know myself, you know, and it certainly sounds like the rest of us expected when we were kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I didn't understand at the time too. It was like, why isn't this not like the cartoon show? That's what I expected. Now I get it. You know, like now it's like it doesn't have to be like that. It's like even the new movie, I don't expect it to be exactly like it, although it seems to be taking a lot of inspiration from the cartoon.
Much more, I'd say, just from the preview.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it was definitely like, I feel like this is a nice segue into your first thing, Mike. It is really feels like a Star Wars influence.
Oh yeah,
you read my mind
for sure.
Yeah. It felt like it was trying to be the He-Man version of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Even the score was a little Star Wars like. Just to start out.
In the interview,
the crawl at the end.
In the interview in this, Bill Conti even talks about how influential John Williams was. You know, when he approached it, that was definitely something that was in his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, even they had stormtroopers in the movie, I think, right?
Yeah. Look, I will go to my grave saying that those were actually evil horde and not stormtroopers. That they were actually, because even the costumes themselves are basically just like and I have one of the mini comics here. They were like a black version of the evil horde troopers, you know. And so that's my thing. I think if the sequel would have been made, you'd find out that Hordak was Skeletor's arms stealer. So,
okay.
My thought was, it looked like they had spray painted Star Wars costumes black of the stormtroopers. That's exactly what it looked like to me.
They might have been called shock troopers. Maybe I don't know. Shock troopers? I don't know. Maybe that
was Star Wars, but in New Jersey.
Right. No, they're in California. She's moving to New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Who moved to Jersey? Like, come
from
on.
California. New Jersey's beautiful, but I moved out from New Jersey to Florida. So,
I did want to add too that I this is just me, that it felt like Meg Foster was like breaking the fourth wall, just kind of looking directly at the audience when she says, after all this time, Grayskull is ours. Yeah, like, that was a fourth wall, like just telling us like He-Man fans, totally look, Skeletor won. Which is kind of something that I wanted to see as a kid too, is that disappointed me about the cartoons was that Skeletor always lost, and I kind of wanted to see him win. So that's kind of what I liked about this movie.
Even as children, he stopped seeming like a threat. I think it was one of the reasons why when the Secret of the Sword movie came out, that I loved that animated film more than I loved most of what, you know, He-Man and Masters of the Universe cartoon had become, because it Hordak felt like a threat. Right? Like he felt like a real threat. And of course he ended up becoming a joke too, but I don't know, there was something about that idea of them being a threat. And again, you know, it influenced my play. You know, Skeletor became the real deal after this. He wasn't somebody that He-Man just, you know, threw off my bed every night. He was, you know, he was like, he could, you know, he was going to chain people up, you know, people were going to get hurt.
Yeah, I don't have this in the notes either, but I remember do you remember, do any of you remember there was like a comic book series that Marvel put out? It was like 13 issues.
Yeah, it was under their Star label.
Star Comics, yeah. So it was, but it ended with, because the adaptation of the movie was also this, and it came out right around the same time. And again, I didn't understand, like, okay, well, this is like the issue of the movie, but the final two issues of the comic almost seemed like a perfect way to segue into the movie, because it was like He-Man, like Prince Adam lost his sword and he went into the future to grab it, and so he's coming back to Eternia, because there's this whole thing leading up to the movie that we don't know about, like how, like, he grabs a hold of the cosmic key and that's how he gets into Grayskull, but how did he how did he get victorious, like how did he do it? So there was it was just this interesting two-part story that felt like when He-Man returned, he was coming back to basically having to free the sorceress or something from, you know, it was just something that I noticed. It was like that was what my play was too as a kid. Was I kind of imagined that was a continuation of the cartoon show, and because the comics were very much like that. So that was
one of the things that I'll say too is that, you know, the discarding of Randor and Marlena and Adam was definitely a bit strange to me, especially because in the mini comics and in the cartoon, Randor and Marlena had taken on more and more of a role. Like early on, like King Randor even had his own action figure, which I think early on it was like, why bother? Like he didn't seem to need one, but he became much more important, especially learning, you know, when in the mini comics, learning about like Keldor, you know, his brother and all this sort of stuff. Like there was so much more to the myth of those characters. And obviously Adam, I think that, you know, the interesting thing is, and again, it's one of the reasons why I don't have as much of a problem with discarding that character, is that, you know, initially he wasn't in the mini comics. He was not a part of the mythos. Like He-Man was just a being, right? Like He-Man was not, he wasn't just this, you know, he didn't transform from this, you know, wimpy prince or whatever. But again, I ended up becoming a, I loved that aspect of the character. I liked the idea that there was like this dual nature, you know, Clark Kent, Superman, Bruce Wayne, Batman aspect of the character. And so it was confusing for me as a kid. But again, you know, looking at it now through these eyes, it's something that I don't miss at all. However, it's something I'm also very much looking forward to seeing how they explore in the new film.
Yeah.
Oh,
for me, definitely.
The transformation from Adam to He-Man was the high spot of every episode.
Sure. Yeah.
So it not being in the film, I think that was another disappointment.
Yeah.
But back then, but this, like I said, now I enjoyed it. And I kind of view it as like a gift that you suggested this, Damon, because I probably wouldn't have revisited it just because I had a bad memory. But I think it feels like if you wish to have one more 80s movie that was like really 80s and cool and fun to watch, and it was all of a sudden it was there, I think this is it.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Well, and I would even go so far as to say, I don't believe that there's any direct influence whatsoever. I don't think anybody, you know, sat down and was like, ooh, you know what we should do. But I absolutely think that if you watch this film through the lens of, you know, an MCU viewer, that this film is not too far removed from the comic book movies that we have had today for the last 20 years.
That's true.
And I you know, and again, you know, Gary Goddard in interviews has even stated that his whole intention was to make was to show people that you could put a comic book on the big screen, and that you didn't have to do it exactly like the comic book, right? Like you could take the influences, you could take the bits and the pieces, and you could make a film, and it hadn't really been done in that way before. And I think that it sits alongside, you know, what we've seen from like the MCU and the DCU and all that sort of stuff in a way that without those films, without having that context, I could see why people might not necessarily appreciate it as much. And in that context, I can see how others would poke fun at the production values, obviously, and the budget, because clearly there's some issues there. But I do think that as far as a film goes, you know, if you suspend your disbelief enough that that tonally and pacing wise and story wise, that it sits right alongside what we've come to know as, you know, as comic book films today.
Yeah.
And I would argue is better than some of the films that we've gotten.
I got kind of like a Howard the Duck feel from it, but in a good way. In like the enjoyable part of Howard the Duck.
I watched that the other night. I'm not even joking.
Yeah. I think that might be what this was missing, Leah Thompson.
There it is.
Dude, she's killer in the movie. There's no doubt about it.
Now.
No, I did. I watched it.
Yeah.
Cool.
You know, there's actually a 4K steelbook of this coming out. Speaking of which, there's a 4K extended edition of Masters of the Universe coming out.
I wanted to ask about that. What are the different releases?
We don't know, because there are like experts. Like there's a dude that had a Masters of the Universe film website for years, and he was on a message board and was asked about it, and he was just like, I have no idea what it could be, because I didn't know that there was any extended footage. He talked about how there were production designs, like She-Ra was originally supposed to be in the movie, for instance, and they ended up cutting her. Yeah.
I need to see that.
Yeah, that there were all sorts of things.
I had She-Ra.
But yeah, they for whatever reason, they never got to talk about any footage that got left on the cutting room floor. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do add back in for this extended version. It's a new boutique label. There's some confusion as to whether or not they're associated with Arrow Films, but they announced a slate of movies that they're going to be releasing, and this was one of them. And the movie's never been released in 4K before, so it'll be a remaster, which will be pretty cool. No pun intended.
I will pick that up.
Yeah, but
are there any commentaries on any DVDs or Laserdiscs or anything that you know of?
The Blu-ray, the standard Blu-ray that Warner Archive did, or actually I don't know if it was Warner Archive, it might just be Warner Brothers. It does have an audio commentary with Gary Goddard on it, and then their Umbrella Entertainment, I believe in Australia, released a special edition, but I don't think it has any extra special features. I think it's just a nice box and a poster, postcards, that sort of stuff, but there's no extra special features. But apparently this new Toy Box 4K supposedly is going to have quite a few special features as well, which will be interesting.
Yeah, I would love like a makeup and production design featurette, maybe.
Yeah,
they could talk about the nightmare fuel that is Gwildor's mouth. It's not quite as bad as Ninja Turtles, but I'm telling you, like, take a look at his mouth, especially when they're in the fountain scene. Yeah, that is.
I noticed. Yeah. Yeah, I had heard that about the extended version. I was like, and then I was like, oh, maybe we should wait. But I didn't want to. I figured it would be better just talk about it now. And I don't know how much it's going to be worth talking about the extended cut. Like you said, nobody knows exactly what it entails. So
I'm sure Sam will put out a video, right, Sam?
I might.
Yeah, all the differences.
Apparently, so apparently, what I'm reading right now is that it's the preview cut. So I guess it's the cut of the film that they previewed, and then they made edits to or used some alternate takes to make the movie a little shorter. So I don't know how long it was prior to this, but yeah, I imagine it's for the most part, I'm guessing it's going to be some extended scenes, because there are a couple of scenes in the film where you can feel that they trimmed a bit from. I often think that in some cases, this is absolutely not true, but I usually tend to think that the shorter, leaner version of a film is the better version of a film. So it'll be interesting to see if this actually makes the film any better necessarily. That said, I'll be all over it, because if there's more of this movie, let me see it,
Yeah, it's just cool to see it.
Yeah. All right. What else do you want to say, Mike, about the
well, we were talking, you were just talking about before that the conquering of Castle Grayskull, and I really like that giant hologram of Skeletor announcing his conquest. It's like it's intimidating and like pretty cool. Like
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that that moment of the film too, the way that everything kind of gets set up as being like the shittiest version of this timeline kind of thing it really draws me in every time I watch it. Like, I love the fact that our heroes are on the back foot right away, and that we don't necessarily know what happened.
Yeah,
exactly. It's that in media res sort of thing where we're dropped right in. Things are awful. How do our heroes get out of this? And I think that there's like this oppressive atmosphere, even when they're in like Gwildor's hut at the beginning, and Karg's like pounding on the door. I don't know. It sets things up really nicely, and that voiceover at the beginning.
Oh, so, yeah.
And the amalgam of Grayskull and Eternia, like Castle Eternia, like they're kind of like meshed together for this film. I kind of dig that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So they meet Gwildor too, and I like where he Man-at-Arms says, any foe of Skeletor's is a friend of ours, and I just couldn't help but think, not quite, because we know that there are other factions like Hordak and the Evil Horde, and there's also King Hiss and the Snake Men. So they're not friends. They're all enemies.
Yeah,
but that's another story. Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't get any of that. But all right. So the Cosmic Key, Mike. You want to
Cosmic Key? it gave me Sliders vibes right away. It's opening a doorway anywhere. Not quite, but close.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that special effect looked right out of the same. VFX house.
It did.
Yeah, even when they jumped into it, it was like, oh, they're jumping into the vortex, and then they kind of landed like the Sliders too.
Like they're sliding
for that. That one part looked a little hokey when they were like jumping into the kitchen, and it looked like they were just hopping in from the other room.
Yeah.
That kind of looked silly. The rest of it looked good.
Yeah, there was that part where Teela was jumping through, and it looked like she did like a little flip through it, like in Sliders. I was thinking the same thing, Mike.
One of my favorite little goofs in the film is that when they're in the music store with the big shootout, He-Man, Dolph Lundgren, is like, he's got the laser pistol and he's doing this with it, but there's no laser beams coming out of it. It's like a blink and you miss it thing. But if you watch at one point, he's doing this, he's waving it like it's firing, and nothing's coming out.
Wow. So do they fix that for the remaster? I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
And then Karg.
Well, Karg, when we first see Karg, they're trying to bust into Gwildor's house. My immediate thought was, he looks like a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers monster.
There was definitely this vibe.
You're not wrong. You're not
7 years earlier. So I think Power Rangers stole from this movie. That's my good.
I mean,
maybe
Sorod would have made a great Power Rangers villain too, if you think about it. Like, he's got that look for sure.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a big disconnect. Like, it seemed like there was like the main, say, makeup effect costume team, and then like a secondary one, but the main one got all the money, and the secondary had to just like do what they had. It was weird for me. Like, just weird, like a total separation. It looked like from two different movies almost.
Rita Repulsa and Lord Zed are basically Evil-Lyn and Skeletor. Like, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
The Havoc staff and the Z staff are kind of the same. You know.
I'll just skip ahead to this with Skeletor. Did it seem like he was rolling his eyes when Evil-Lyn's going through the roll call of all of them, and he's like, "Do you understand that I want him alive?" And he's just like rolling his eyes, like
he absolutely did. Absolutely did. Yeah.
Like, these idiots. That's
what
it felt like.
I saw that tonight. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, I actually love that vibe about him, that he he doesn't care about any of these people. He is just using each and every one of them to get what he wants, even Evil-Lyn. And it's like almost sad at times, because you can tell that Evil-Lyn wants nothing more than to have Skeletor's approval. And every time she comes up just a little short, like when she doesn't capture He-Man, but she's got the key, and Skeletor's just like, "I'm done with you," cuts the transmission. The look on her face is just like, you poor confused lady. Like, he will only break your heart, Evil-Lyn.
Yeah, well, there's that part where he's sitting there, and he's like caressing her cheeks or whatever, and he's like talking about stuff, and it's like, so you're getting this this feeling of there's like some connection there. But then it's like, also later on, she's like, well, she makes this recommendation. It's like, "You're gonna go." He's like, "Well, I was not suggesting I would go." He's like, "Well, then you shouldn't have spoken."
Yeah. Or even early on when she's like, after all this time, Grayskull is finally ours, and he's just like, "No, it's mine.
It's mine."
Yeah. I love me some Evil-Lyn. That's probably my favorite character in the movie.
I mean, honestly, in some ways, she might be the one that is most true to the portrayal that we're used to seeing.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, I mean, she still is like the perfect Evil-Lyn too. Like, I mean, it's just like, she's. I mean, the one who plays her for the new movie, Alison Brie.
Yeah,
she does look pretty good.
I agree.
Very interested in seeing her portrayal. So but I mean, I love Meg Foster. She's fantastic.
Yeah, gorgeous and great actress.
Yeah. So then there's also like, so when Kevin says, "Okay, I'm going to be gone." What did he say? 15 minutes tops. Okay, and everything that happened there, that was way longer than 15 minutes. And even when he's talking to Charlie, he's like, "I was there like 10 minutes ago." Like, no, you weren't. You were not there 10 minutes ago.
He has no concept of time.
Is that a goof? I don't know if that's just the way. Maybe it's just weird movie time logic. I don't know.
Oh, he's a teenager.
Right.
They have no concept of time.
Well,
yeah.
and even like I get it. I go with it. I don't have a problem with it. But I've always kind of sat there and just thought to myself, like her deciding to just stick around and say goodbye to the place that's great for the plot. It's like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay here and say goodbye. Meanwhile, this young man that I'm supposed to be in love with, and my coworker is telling me to not break up with and never leave. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, beat it, dude. This is our last night together, but you beat it. I'm gonna stick around and hang out at the high school all by myself.
Right. He's like, I don't have to do this. She's like, but like, it's okay. He's like, oh, you sure? Okay. Like, he wanted to go off and do this. It's
right.
Yeah. But then also, like, so this is what I was thinking too. Like, so Lubic shows up, and it's like, I don't know if he's just supposed to be this dumb teenager, but like, what is with the attitude he has with him? Because he's like, well, what does she look like or whatever? He's talking about her and he's taking notes. He's like, well, what? Are you just gonna do something? It's like, what do you expect him to do? He needs information. You just expect him to like read your mind and know who she is. It's like it just seemed weird to me. Like just had his attitude with him almost right away. I mean, I don't know what you guys picked up on that with.
What I felt was weirder that he just takes him with him and he's sitting in the front seat next to him with this big thing that they don't know what it is, and they become a buddy cop movie all of a sudden.
I kind of like the conflict between the two of them. I think it's it's kind of, for lack of a better way to say this, is kind of an old actor's trick, right? Like, what's going to be more interesting for me to say these lines in a way that kind of is just sort of like, hey, this is what she looked like. Are you going to help me? Are you going to do anything? I really need you to help me. Or do I come in guns blazing and create this, this conflict? That's going to be more interesting to watch. And I think it is. I don't have that much of a problem with it. I do kind of, even tonight as I was watching, to Albie's point, there was a moment where I was like, oh yeah, he sits in the front seat. Huh. Okay. Yep. He's riding shotgun with the detective. It's cool. But I kind of enjoy their antagonistic relationship, and I love how over the top antagonistic Lubic is. There's just something about like these sort of very bullheaded interpretations of these characters that helps to raise the stakes for what they want. And for Kevin, it's just like, I've got to find Julie. I've got to protect Julie. I've got to, keep Julie safe. For Lubic, it's like, I got to get to the bottom of this. I got to solve the case. I got to figure this out. And so the fact that they do kind of just go all out is actually kind of appealing to me. But I could, I totally understand how some folks could be turned off and be like, I don't get it. It's the same way. Whereas like, I remember watching this movie with my grandfather ages ago, and he would always get so pissed when Julie would run back in and grab the cosmic key and give it to Evil-Lyn. And he'd just be like, oh, it's her damn fault. She ruined the whole movie. She ruined it. It's like, Grass, what do you...
She had to know it wasn't her mom. She had to know.
Yeah, they got to prolong the conflict somehow, come on. So yeah, but my grandfather would be like that when we watch movies. Anytime a younger person would make a mistake, it would kind of be like, "You damn kids,
bunch of slackers." Jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do remember that moment from when the mom turns back into Evil-Lyn, and that kind of was cool when I was a kid.
Yeah, and another example of how great the score is. The music in that scene, like when Julie hugs her mom and comes back out with the key, and the transition, the score in that moment, how it just it's so beautiful, it's so wonderful. You're kind of pulled in, you're kind of fooled for a second, and then it goes south, and that music just kind of just makes you feel so icky,
I think the writing of it was good, but I think the casting was bad, because like if it was like a 15-year-old actor playing that part instead of Courteney Cox at the time, I think it would have been more believable. But since she was older looking, it looked like it just was a mismatch. She wasn't. She shouldn't have been that gullible. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I think they're supposed to be like 18 though, right? Like these aren't supposed to be like 15-year-old kids, like because she's getting ready to move out on her own. Like she's I mean, I get the impression that she's done with high school.
Yeah, so 18
probably.
Graduate.
Yeah, right. So like, yeah, but I mean, that said, she was still like 22 when they made the movie. So,
but who knows if Evil-Lyn had some kind of mind control powers going on in this version or something?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're locking onto the transmission, and you made the note, Mike, about the microwave.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I know they found out where the transmission was coming from, and like how exactly did they blow up that microwave oven remotely?
Because it was jamming the signal, right? So just remove the source of the jamming, and they just blew it up.
The microwave just blew up. Like they would have to, I would think, physically go there to make it stop, and not. There was no real explanation about how the microwave.
Well, if you remember back then, microwaves were mysterious. We didn't understand how they worked, just that they did. So we thought they would blow up.
That's true.
And everyone with a pacemaker had to stay a half a mile away from them the whole time.
Yeah.
And look,
that's a good point.
You know,
technology.
Yeah. One of the things that's great about like Motu in general is you have this perfect fusion of like magic and technology. So it's so easy to just kind of be like, yeah, this thing does that. Like that's just how the universe works.
I suppose that's fair. Yeah.
That's gotta be evident. Yeah.
Hey, it's still worth noting. It's still worth asking the question. Like, how the hell did they do that?
Yeah. I mean, it's not something I really like thought about, but I'm like, well, yeah, okay. This was a weird moment for me in the movie when Kevin's trying to remember the tones that will open the gate, and that so it's like we're talking about the music score here, but it just has this weird. It kind of does it very naturally where it segues into what's playing on a loudspeaker behind him because he's trying to concentrate. It is odd to me. I remember even back then I was like, what? Like I was a little confused by like why was that necessary? Why did that? I understand that he was like trying to concentrate, but I don't know. That felt a bit odd to me. Well, I don't know what the point of that was. That whole scene, just the way the transition was too.
I've always just written it up to like it's a moment of comedic relief, right?
Yeah, going for the joke.
I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, I get what you're saying. That's just kind of where I kind of land with it. It's an opportunity for Teela to do something kind of badass and funny, and and kind of relieve some of the pressure because I think up until that point, I mean, things we're in Empire Strikes Back mode right now. You know what I mean? Things are as awful as they can possibly get. Let's throw a joke in here real quick. But I get it. It is superfluous.
And they had to keep, it was a large group running around pretty much, and they had to keep giving people something to do. So kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And I'll say this in our quotes too, but I was watching it, and this is a really great line where Kevin's doubting himself, and Gwildor says, "There's only one of you, Kevin, and only one of anybody."
Yeah, I did like that.
That was a really great line. And it's like really good.
I mean, and Billy Barty's delivery on that, and just again the score, the moment. It's I agree. It's handled really well.
Yeah. So is this where they now? So they're all showing up here now, and so where is it where Lubic is now coming in with the gun, and I'm just thinking, eat lead, slackers, with the shotgun from part 2.
Part 2. Yes, I had flashbacks from that also. I think all of us did.
It looked like it was right out of that second movie. Like, that's all we needed to hear. Just say slackers.
and this was before part 2, so maybe part 2 is an homage to this. You never know. Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, this is, so like I said, this is where I did like this part where He-Man is just kind of like he's I guess he's lost his power. Like, see, this is where like they never really got into like the fact that he's the most powerful man in the universe, but then like all of a sudden he's escaping from getting whipped or whatever, and this is like that we're finally get that real He-Man moment where he's like pushing the statue back and like really using that strength, and like up until then we didn't really get it, and then he finally pulls out the sword and he says, "I have the power," and but I love this with Skeletor basically becoming like God Skeletor. Like, this is something that I always wanted to see. So
that was cool.
Yeah.
Did they ever make a action figure of that from the movie?
They did
for the classics line.
Yeah.
Wow.
They made 2 of them. Yeah, they did for they called a Dark Despot Skeletor was the Frank Langella one, and then they made a God Skeletor figure.
Yeah.
For that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, obviously in Revelations, it's heavily hinted at that that's kind of what Skeletor was trying to unlock, and Evil-Lyn, ends up unlocking like basically. There you go. Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Revelations.
I think they made the Revelations one, right?
Yeah,
they did.
That's what this one.
I forgot about
what this
that,
one is right here. Yeah,
Damon's got it.
The only
right
Masterverse figure. Yeah, the only Masterverse figure I got was that one. Yeah.
When do we show our toys? Is there a show and tell?
We're almost done. I think.
You only have one. You only have one show and tell.
Yeah, another good line. Yeah, Man-at-Arms says, "Live the journey. For every destination is but a doorway to another."
Yeah,
that was another good line. I like that one.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah. I don't have it in the notes, but we were mentioning that about with Evil-Lyn before, and you kind of see her. She's basically telling Karg they know when to leave. Basically, I think it's time to leave because he's about to get his ass whipped.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they just left.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, so Skeletor falls and seemingly to his death.
Yes, that was very Star Wars to me. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Very Star Wars.
But
where does that long shaft go in Castle Grayskull? I don't know.
I don't know.
It seemed to be on a space station all of a sudden. I don't know.
I don't know where it goes. I don't know.
Down to the Red River pit of Snake Mountain.
Yes, that's true.
So that's one of the things that I always found hilarious, by the way, is that initially we see Castle Grayskull as being like this thing out in the middle of nowhere, right? It's its own entity, right? Snake Mountain, same deal, right? And then they released the Eternia playset, and which I had, by the way, and it connected Grayskull on one side and Snake Mountain on the other. So they were basically the equivalent of 40 feet away from one another. So it's you had He-Man walk out of Grayskull, walk over to Eternia, Skeletor walk out of Snake Mountain. It's hey dude, what's up? We're gonna fight today? Yeah, okay, let's fight. It's always kind of funny to me to see pictures of that, because it's but that doesn't. Okay, all right, whatever.
So it was just a squabble between two neighbors.
Exactly. Yeah. That Eternia playset, man. Coming out Christmas morning and seeing that thing next to the tree, because my parents had built it the night before, so it was all set up and everything.
Oh wow,
that was something else. That was something else.
That was the one thing my parents said, "Nope, you're not getting that." That was the one thing. I was like, I understand why. That thing was massive. So
it was massive, yeah.
And I think it wasn't quite back then.
Wasn't quite the USS Flag, but it was pretty damn close.
That was huge. That took up a whole room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're basically at the end, and you have this note, Mike, about Gwildor,
if we're getting into the time travel, it's they're going into the vortex, and Julie. Wait, what's her name? It is Julie.
Yeah, Julie.
Julie.
Courteney
Julie turns around and was like,
Monica.
wait, and but I think Gwildor must have anticipated.
Take me back.
Want to stop the parents' death, which
did he know about what happened? Where did he find that out? I missed that.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I think so.
That might be one of the cutscenes or something.
Yeah.
Well, when Julie comes back in to steal the cosmic key, she tells Kevin that her parents are alive, that they survived, that she doesn't know how, and Gwildor's in the room and hears all that. So one could infer even from that he's understanding. But I would imagine.
Yeah. And he read the article in the newspaper too, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. Now I just put that together. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense now.
Yeah. It leads to a very 80s ending.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
However, it still gives you a little bit of the touchy feely.
Yeah.
I'm conflicted on it, and I honestly had never really thought about this before. But did Gwildor just create a big fucking paradox?
So that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the stickler now for time travel. Because I have this here. If they went back to save her parents, and they're now existing from that point in time, they basically jumped into themselves, right? So are they now? What happens when He-Man and the others show up chronologically in this timeline, and then Skeletor's evil army follows? Are they reliving these events, or no? because also Lubic stayed behind on Eternia.
Yeah.
So what does that do to him?
Right. Or did Gwildor just like somehow like seal off the universe in a way now by doing this, by creating like this parallel kind of Earth that exists separate from the Earth that Skeletor attempted to invade, and now it's like, you know, you can't come back, you know.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just not thinking fourth dimensionally. I don't know.
It reminded me of the ending of It's a Wonderful Knife, where they go back in time, but they remember everything that happened.
I don't know. So. These I don't know. Slackers. I don't know. These writers. I don't know. Just I didn't think of that.
There was only two things that bumped me, I think, about the film, and it was just silly things. The at the end, Courteney Cox's pajamas were just ridiculously thick and long, and it looked like they covered her from head to toe, and I just never seen anyone wear pajamas that looked like that. Something similar, but not that. It was like she had her full day clothes underneath that.
I mean,
I don't know.
My 6-year-old has something similar to that, but she's 6, so 7.
But like,
it's
not a half-inch thick flannel fabric, right?
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. And the other thing that stood out was like when Skeletor is coming down the street, it looked like he was on a parade float. So it kind of took the gravitas out of the scene. It just looked like he was like waving at people on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Other than that, I think it was great.
And then, I guess, is this the first time movie? I don't remember any movie doing this beforehand where we get this post-credit
I know.
scene.
I was thinking the same.
Right?
I almost felt stupid watching the whole credits, but I was like, you know what? That's something I've been doing for the last, 15 years now, so I might as well.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something, and I was like, whoa! And I had never seen that.
And
that was cool.
This is...
Was that after Terminator? I think it was.
Yeah. I think so.
So we had seen them before. We got them in the Muppet movie.
Ferris Bueller.
Oh, okay.
Ferris Bueller's Day
Ferris
Off.
Bueller.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But it wasn't a big thing, though. Like,
no.
I don't think I even knew about it until I maybe saw it. Probably maybe when I saw it on cable or something, and I saw the end credits. I'm like, whoa! There's a post-credit scene. I didn't even know about this. I did not see
Young
it
Sherlock
back
Holmes.
Then.
Young Sherlock Holmes also had one.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So basically, it's kind of funny in a way. You had 3 movies all released around the same time that all had them: Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Young Sherlock Holmes, and this Masters of the Universe. But up until then, it had only been done like once or twice before, and in that case, it was the Muppets movie and then a 60s spy spoof movie called The Silencers, where they were kind of like spoofing the James Bond Will Return, because at the end of the James Bond movies, but that wasn't a scene; that was just a title card.
Yes,
but it would always be. It was a post-credits thing.
Yeah.
And then they kind of took 30, 40 years off of that, and then 30, and then they started again. Now I just expect it.
Yeah.
Now it's
half the theater always stays behind, and if there's nothing and the lights come up, everybody's kind of like, oh.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
Doesn't matter the movie.
Yeah, this
doesn't matter the movie.
21 years before Marvel started doing this, like made it a regular thing, basically.
Yeah.
So
I think even the Sheep Detectives had one. I think that was one of the last ones I saw. Yeah.
I mean, most Disney movies have them now too. Like even like the Pixar films, like Zootopia and Hoppers and like all of those have had them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else that we didn't mention about the movie? And we I mean, I covered pretty much anything I wanted to say. I think so.
Well, one of the things that's always been interesting to me is that I remember seeing the movie Cyborg late at night. This is probably early 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing that movie, and the villain in that movie is basically wearing Skeletor's costume. And I clocked it even as a kid watching this movie. I'm a kid. I was probably 12 or 13. But I remember clocking it even then. But it would be years later before I discovered that the Cyborg film basically used costumes, sets, and even part of the script from the abandoned Masters of the Universe sequel. And Albert Pyun, who made that film, was slated to be the director of the Masters of the Universe sequel as well. And I was always so fascinated by that.
Yeah.
So, if you watch them together, is it almost like a sequel? I don't know. I don't really remember that movie other than the cover art on the VHS.
No, they're two. They are two different. They're, again, I think most of the stuff that scripted, like there's one part where, and this is all hearsay because I don't know that there's actually an existing script for it, but one of the scenes that gets pointed to is there's a point where the villain and his crew basically crucify Jean-Claude Van Damme's character, and apparently that was something that they had toyed with, the notion of doing that to He-Man in the He-Man sequel.
Oh, wow.
And so, like, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is it's like, I don't think we always give this movie enough credit for how dark it can be at times, but apparently they were going to ratchet that up even more in the sequel and make the sequel even potentially darker. Yeah, and I think that I think that one of the other things is that potentially that the girl that Van Damme's character is kind of like responsible for in the He-Man movie was going to be She-Ra, and he was kind of trying to help her, and eventually she would be the one that saves him in the end of the movie or something like that. But again, most of this is just conjecture because I don't think there's an existing script for it or anything like that.
Oh, okay. All right. I put in, if you want to say the songs, Mike, that they had some, we actually had some songs in this.
I mean, aside from the great score, there were some songs in this movie. The only one I noticed was Purple Haze by Jimi Hendrix, which plays
Battlestar.
Kevin Meets Charlie. The other three were Waitin' Up by George Highfill. Plays at Robbie's Ribs. So that was an earlier scene. Dear Mr. Fantasy by Traffic. And that's when Lubic is talking to Charlie. And Living in a Box.
Too. Yeah.
Performed by Living in a Box. Playing in Kevin's van when he picks up Julie.
Right.
Robbie's Ribs, that was a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
That was where Julie was working. Yeah, that was playing when she was clocking out, basically. Yeah,
and Teela was disgusted by, it was like meat. Does that mean like Eternias are all vegetarians or something? Did I miss something?
I think so. I have that in my quotable quotes.
Oh,
okay. It was that big A-frame, like roadside looking.
Yeah, it almost looked like a Dairy Queen we have down here.
For sure, yeah.
The classic one.
Aside from laser guns that aren't shooting lasers, were there any goofs anyone else noticed?
Other than what I was saying with the time lapse, there's one. Noticed.
There's also one early on where they clearly reverse the shot because He-Man has a cut on, I believe it's the right side of his chest, but then the very next scene, the same cut is on the left side of his chest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I think the earlier scene was the one that was reversed because for the rest of the film, anytime we see that injury, it's on like the left side of his chest.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. Or maybe vice versa, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. We want to do the quotes, or we want to do the our little. We want to show off stuff, or I don't know. What do you guys want to? You want to do the quotes, and then we should also do like crush, like what you guys do, like favorite crush. Albie? Yeah.
It's weird because I was gonna go Courteney Cox because she's gorgeous. I love her. Everything she's in, she's great in Scream, Friends. But Evil-Lyn got me in this one. Those eyes. Big crush on her, and I don't know. I liked her makeup. I liked her acting. I liked her the character she made for Evil-Lyn, and I bought it. Even all the silliness that was going on around her, I still bought Evil-Lyn. So I'm gonna go with Evil-Lyn.
I think my crush is actually Chelsea Field. I always liked Teela, and I'm watching this again. I'm like, yeah, she looked good.
Yeah,
I should have said that because I met her, but oh well.
Yeah. Well, that cat suit she wears is,
Yeah.
I didn't like the fabric of it, the color or the fabric of it. It just seemed dull.
One of the things I will say, I don't mind it as I'm watching the film, but when I do think about it, the gray, the overwhelming gray, and the gray on gray kind of tone of her in Man-at-Arms costumes is one of those things where I'm like, I don't get it. Like, Eternia is not a gray planet. Like they're not like it's so it's not camouflage. Like what I don't understand this armor. I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know.
Leftover from Tron, maybe. I'm not sure.
Sure, but I will say that if you look at the actual like armor pieces of both her and Man-at-Arms costumes, like they are absolutely there's a direct line between what we see in the toys and the cartoons to those costumes. Right. It's just the color just really kind of makes you go like, huh. But yeah.
Yeah. What's your crush, Sam?
Oh boy. Lubic. No, you know, I gotta say though, he gets like that Vanna White girlfriend on Eternia. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
How long have they been there? That's the other thing that I always wonder. It's like, how long have they been on Eternia? Because it seems like some time has passed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
A couple months at least, right?
Right? Yeah. It feels like it. But no, I go back and forth, but I think at the end of the day, I think about it like this, like, you know, Julie is Courteney Cox. It's like, you know, that's the one I want to like cuddle up on the couch, watch a movie with, hang out with, right? Yes. But Teela, you know, Chelsea Field, like she's my ride or die, right? Like she's the one that's gonna get my ass out of the frying pan. It's like you're riding shotgun with me, like so. It's hard for me to say between the two, but I think I'll probably veer towards Courteney Cox.
Okay. How about you, Mike?
Yeah. I have to go with the obvious Courteney Cox in this instance. Yeah.
Okay.
No. Not too long before Friends here, and
yeah.
There was.
I do have to say one of my favorite moments of the movie is when Man-at-Arms and Teela find He-Man after he's first met Julie, and there's this really wonderful kind of catty moment from Teela.
Yes.
I just love that moment.
Yes.
I just think it's
like, who are you?
Yeah.
Yes. It was like instant jealousy, and I think they both hissed a little bit.
Right.
I did notice that too.
All right, I also think it's kind of interesting how Kevin never really gets like jealous of He-Man. I've always been fascinated by that, because there's clearly something like bubbling under the surface between Julie and He-Man. You know, it's there, right? And yet Kevin is just sort of like, okay, you know.
Dolph running around in his underwear.
Yeah.
And very oily at the end of the movie.
Yes.
I'd never really clocked that before. Like, it made sense why the embrace between Julie and He-Man at the end of the film is not like this big tight squeeze. It's like Courteney Cox didn't want to get grease all over.
No baby oil. No baby oil.
Yeah. Like one of P. Diddy's parties.
All right, want to do quotes? Might as well do that, and then the show and tell or whatever. Yeah.
All right. The first quote I had was from Skeletor. I loved it. I just laughed out loud. He says, "I dare anything. I am Skeletor."
Which is another thing. I love that there are certain lines in this film which are direct calls to like the cartoon and established lore. Like, you know, that's a line from the cartoon. I am Skeletor, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And then the three of them, after they've landed on Earth, Teela, Man-at-Arms, and He-Man each say "good journey" to
Yeah,
that was nice.
to each other. Like it's kind of awkward. They're like, "Good journey, good journey."
Yeah.
I might steal that. I might use that.
It's kind of what we all say to each other now. Motu fans, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And the Gwildor line, I had to pause it and laugh because it was it felt like a dig at Sliders, even though obviously it wasn't. But Gwildor says,
Sliders.
"I wouldn't build a device that didn't store its home coordinates."
It might have been. It really might have been.
That could be a nice little dig at Doctor Who as well. You know,
maybe. Yeah.
And after Gwildor steals the bucket of ribs and chicken, and they're eating it.
Yeah, this is good.
Teela says, "I wonder why they put their food on these little white sticks." Man-at-Arms, "Those are rib bones." Teela, "You mean this used to be an animal?" Man-at-Arms, Teela, "What a barbaric world."
Yeah.
Man-at-Arms, "Never think while you're hungry."
I like
Oh
that.
God, I love that.
It's true. You got to disassociate. You can't think about
much.
what you're eating when you're eating it if you eat the meat.
It is a great scene. I think it was like one of Amada's favorite scenes too. That and when they first arrive and they're like, "Oh, what's this mysterious thing out in the woods? This is an ugly looking creature, and it's a cow." And just the way Gwildor is like mooing at it, like it's just like
yeah.
And
I love how Teela's first reaction is, "Let me blast it."
Yeah, let me blast.
Well, and I guess if you didn't grow up with him, you don't know if it's dangerous or not, right?
Yeah. I'll follow up with that, Mike, by I like how Gwildor then says, "It tasted good."
Yeah. Yes.
It does.
It did make me pause the movie halfway through when I ran and got a bucket of fried chicken.
As a vegetarian, I have to admit, it makes me want ribs.
Yeah, they make some good vegetarian ribs, but they are on wooden sticks. Have you had those? They're pretty good.
They do these days. Yeah, no, hey, as a vegetarian, I'm eating good, man. I can get pretty much anything I want these days.
Yeah, it's amazing what they can do.
I'm also a vegetarian, Sam, so I was with Teela on that when she said, "What a barbaric world."
Yeah.
I belong on Eternia.
My daughter's vegetarian, so
I have to do a famous Fates Wide Wheel segue real quick because one of the things that's so fascinating is recently Paul McCartney, who is like one of the vegetarians, right? Mm-hmm. Like he recently did a podcast where the whole point is you eat fried chicken, and I'm like, Paul, what you doing, man?
What?
Like. I was very surprised by this. I don't know if he actually ate it or not, but I saw a picture and he's sitting there with a thing of fried chicken in front of him.
Is it the hot ones?
No, it's not hot ones. It's something else. I can't remember what it's called now.
The Date in a Chicken Shop? That's a good one too. But they usually provide vegan chicken for those guests on those shows. So
okay.
Oh, okay.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
I eat vegetarian half the week.
That's weird. Okay.
My daughter's vegetarian, so when she's here, I just cook vegetarian because I don't mind it. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
No, he did eat vegan nuggets. I had to look it up. He ate vegan nuggets.
Okay. I was gonna say that's weird. If Paul McCartney,
the world they're all is right with the world.
Okay.
That said, 83-year-old Paul McCartney can do whatever he wants. It's fine.
Yep. He saved enough chickens and cows in his life so far, I think.
Yeah. Right. All right.
The only lines I had were "I'll be back" at the end, and then "Eat lead, slackers."
It's like
those are my two
favorite from the movie, but
that wasn't in this one. No,
it wasn't in this one.
I got Sarah Connor vibes at the beginning from Courteney Cox.
Totally. Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, yeah.
That'd have been a cool mix up.
Yeah.
Mash up.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
I could actually see if that Terminator, I could see a little bit of influence from that movie on this film, without a doubt. Yeah.
I got a flavor of it.
Yeah.
Come with me. Come with me if you want to live. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Except it's Gwildor saying it this time.
Yeah.
A couple of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
Are the next quotes that you guys have listed.
I have another quote from Gwildor. The last one from Gwildor. When he converts the car. It was an inefficient combustion system, but I fixed it. It runs on neutrinos now. No hydrocarbons needed.
Yeah.
Where are our hydrocarbonless cars?
Right. Figured out the solution.
Cold fusion.
Yeah.
We can do it.
And then there was a Teela line. I don't know if she looks at the camera or just kind of looks close to the camera.
It feels like it is almost a fourth wall moment. Yeah.
Yeah. She goes, "Woman in arms."
Yeah. Because she comes out to help them in the music store gunfight because it sounds like they're getting their asses kicked. Yeah. So she comes out and takes out a bunch of dudes real quick, like Princess Leia in Star Wars style. And then all of a sudden, she just kind of turns almost towards the camera and she goes, "Woman at arms." I love that moment. I do. Unashamedly love it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I alluded to it before. It's just like Kevin says, "I'm just a stupid keyboard player in a high school band. There's a million of me." And then, as I said before with Gwildor, it just says, "Only one of you, Kevin. Only one of anybody." So that was a good message, and I did like that a lot. So,
well, one of the things that I love too about that whole sequence when they're by the fountain is I just feel such a really interesting moment because it's so grounded and it's so emotional and the stakes feel so high, and it's one of those moments that could be in in any film, right? And yet you're constantly reminded of the trappings of this sci-fi kind of fantasy epic, because you've got the cosmic key sitting there. They're trying to open a portal to another world. They're all this sort of stuff, but it's just a really wonderfully grounded emotional moment, and I think it's a nice payoff for some of what we've seen prior to this. And one other thing I'll throw out there real quick: Man-at-Arms, anytime the Sorceress is mentioned or a threat is made to her life, or that they're trying to save her, like, I mean, he's practically like getting choked up during these moments, and it really, whether intentional or not, it really drove home that notion that they had hinted at the fact that there had been a relationship between Man-at-Arms and the Sorceress in the cartoon, and that and it's funny because I don't remember exactly how it landed, but I've seen discussions about this on Reddit and discussion boards over whether or not Teela is literally his daughter and literally the Sorceress's daughter, or if she's just the Sorceress's daughter, or just Man-at-Arms' daughter, or if she is their daughter. And I've always sort of been in that camp that she is their daughter. And I've always thought that to be a really interesting take. And I think that it's nice that there's enough wiggle room that could be true, depending on which canon you follow or whatever. So I always thought that was interesting, that it seems like there's a little personal investment in the Sorceress's well-being on his part.
Yeah, because they
There's
did not
definitely
hint
that
about it.
father-daughter type relationship.
Yeah, but they didn't hint about it at all with the Sorceress actually being her mother. Because
not in this film.
That's in the Kevin Smith one, right? They mentioned that, I think.
Yeah.
But it was also, I believe, in one of it's in the cartoon, right? It's in the original cartoon.
The one where the backstory of the mom coming to Eternia from Earth or something, or what is it?
No, that's with He-Man.
That's Adam.
That's
right.
That's right.
Yeah.
40-year-old memories get mixed up.
Yeah. But they did say in the original
movie,
cartoon.
In the original cartoon, the Sorceress is explicitly Teela's biological mother. Okay. Yeah, it's in Teela's quest.
Right.
Yes, that's one of the earlier episodes, isn't it? I think. Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't know. The order of the episodes gets muddled in my head, but
yeah.
All right, what do you guys got you got some He-Man stuff that you want to show off, or?
I mean, I've already kind of showed most of it, but I think one of my favorite things is this autographed limited edition 2 CD set of the score. I think it's really cool. It's funny, I didn't know it was autographed when I bought it. I just bought it off of Discogs because it was the only place I could find it for a decent price. And it came to me autographed, but whoever sent it to me also sent me a version of the booklet not autographed. So there's two booklets here, one signed and one not signed, which I thought was really neat, because obviously I don't want to take the signed one out to read it, but the booklet has some really great stuff in there, including an interview with Bill Conti. My King Grayskull figure, which I love this figure. It's got a wired soft goods cape, which is something rare for mass market action figures. And then growing up, one of my favorite figures was always this dude with the blood in his chest. Yeah, Mosquitor. My daughter and son actually love this figure too, but I've kind of already shown off some of the stuff. I've got the Origins, stuff that you were showing off from earlier, Damon, and I have a huge stack of the mini comics. At one time, I mean, again, most of it is gone to time and moves and my sister's attic and that sort of stuff. But at one time, I had the entire toy line. Growing up, that was my toy line. My parents, I think, Transformers were a little bit more expensive. G.I. Joes had guns and they weren't a fan of that. So I had all Masters of the Universe until eventually I got a little older and they were like, whatever, G.I. Joe is basically science fiction at this point, let them have G.I. Joes. But and I had Eternia. I had all the vehicles. I had the Rock Lords. I had the Meteorbs. If anybody remembers the Meteorbs.
Yes, I had those too.
So there were a lot of that. I actually don't have the cartoon on DVD. Wow. I don't. Yeah, mainly because anytime I've tried to go back and watch the cartoon, I'm just kind of like, yeah, some cartoons hold up and I can watch them as an adult, and some I just can't. And yeah,
I think I made it like 10 episodes my last rewatch try of it.
Well, this is the
but that was, I mean, it was Manna from Heaven when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this was like, I think like from fans, like this is like the 10 best, like that they all like picked out, I think. So this is when they first released it on DVD, and I have this. I did end up having like at least the first season. I never bothered I was never able to get the other ones, but this was like the basically season 1, part 2, and then I was never able to get the other ones, but yeah, and of course Christmas special, which, you know, there's that.
Yeah, I have that. Love that.
Yeah.
I should still at Walmart right now too, actually. On the shelves. It's crazy.
Oh, I know, yeah. And I did get this. This is like the toys of this is
Dark Horse made a number of books.
Yeah.
That are super cool. They did that one. They did one of the mini comics. They did like an encyclopedia of characters.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got this. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's like tons of stuff I have, but I'm not going to show off that many. Did you guys ever see these like little like pop keychains that came out? There was these. This was like
wow.
Yeah, I took them out of the box, but I probably should have kept them in there. But it was like these. It's like a really interesting little thing. They did like 3 of these with He-Man and Terraclaw, Skeletor, and She-Ra. You see those.
Nice.
And then, yeah, you know, the only other thing I'll show is I got this at a convention a couple of years ago. This is not my original Stinkor, but this is a vintage Stinkor. And
does it smell?
It still stinks.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Yeah. So I found it at a convention. I'm like, I got to get this because it was one of my favorites as a kid. This and Moss Man. Yeah.
Moss Is that Man. Who Jason Mewes plays in the new one?
Yes, he does. Yeah. Yeah.
I
that's
collected
about it for me.
I collected Dollar Tree had a whole bunch of minifigures for a while, and we got all those and 2 Orcos because we had to open an Orco. And like I mentioned, Serenity has Evil-Lyn from the new series.
Yeah.
And then I have Teela.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's Sarah Michelle Gellar, right?
Yes.
So I think that's why I got that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And of course, I interviewed Tiffany Smith, but that's not really a show and tell. That's just a tell and tell. She's a man at arms. She's man at arms in the new
right, because wasn't she also in like the new Quantum Leap?
Quantum Leap, yeah. That's why I got to talk to her. But then I talked to her more about her friendship with Sarah Michelle Gellar and He-Man.
Yeah,
that's what I do. I just go off in tangents.
Yeah. I know you don't have anything, Mike. Really, right? You couldn't.
No,
it's
all
get
in storage somewhere.
Yeah,
I couldn't locate it. In time.
Well, maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
What did you have as a kid, Mike? Did you have the stuff? I had like the battle damage He-Man, battle damage Skeletor, that kind of stuff.
I was big into Ninja Turtles, so like that that's what I had tons of. But I definitely have one of the Rock Lords. I have King Hiss, and I have one of his purple guy with the tongue.
Tongue Lasher.
I don't remember his name.
Oh yeah, Tongue Lasher. Yeah.
He was awesome.
Yeah.
Who was the guy you pushed down and he popped up? I had him.
Ram Man.
Ram Man.
Yep. Love that one. He was the actionist of the action figures.
So I think those were the 3 action figures I had, but they would often, be antagonists for the Ninja Turtles on the side of Shredder. So
that was the thing. It was like
cool.
Yeah. But and that was the thing, was like they all had these gimmicks, which is I loved as a kid. I loved that they each had like their own unique thing that they did, and like the new Origins line, like for the most part they tried to keep that intact. Some of the stuff they haven't really kept that, incorporated that in, like with Tongue Lasher, you have to stick the tongue in there instead of it popping out.
One of my favorite things is that with the Hordak figure that they did, is that they gave him the buzzsaw gimmick, which was actually the second version of Hordak. But but that the Origins Hordak had that gimmick included, which I thought was really cool. But they gave Skeletor the blood pumping gimmick. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that was definitely one of the coolest things about the figures, is that there was a lot of thought behind that. And I listened to I don't listen to it that much anymore, but I listened to a Transformers podcast for a while. And one of the things that I love when they talk about the vintage toys, because a lot of the vintage toys are, for me, they're fun to think about, but I don't want to have a vintage collection. I have some of the newer toys. I love the articulation. I love the transformations in them. I think they're great. However, one of the things that they talk a lot about, and they're absolutely right, is that a lot of those early toys had some sort of gimmick included with them, right? Beyond even just the fact that they were a transformer, and that, there's not as much creative thought given to those sorts of things these days as there used to be. And you see it everywhere, right? Like, whether it's, Transformers or He-Man or, G.I. Joe Classified or whatever, it's gone to a different place, which I think I can appreciate, again, with accessories, articulation, swappable, heads and hands and that sort of thing, which I think is super, super cool. And in a way is a gimmick of its own right, but it's not necessarily something that inspires the same kind of creative play that, we got. And I think part of that is because, these figures these days aren't actually for kids anymore. Really, when you think about it.
The same generation as back then, just older now.
They're nostalgia bait, right? And they offer something, I think, now that they didn't offer back then, that they couldn't offer back then. Right? Like, I mean, ankle articulation, for God's sake, come on.
I know.
But it was cool back then when an action figure stunk or it was flocked. Things, or made fire. I was in the toy section the other night and I saw a action figure set, a 3-set of Piper's Pit. So Rowdy Piper and Paul Orndorff and somebody else, Cowboy Bob Orton. And I'm like, I'm telling Serenity, this is from one television segment from like 1983. And she's like, because people that buy toys are your age.
So
it's true. So what are they going to do when we age out? I don't know. No more toys.
Yeah, I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
All right. Final thoughts,
we got to get on to Porky's 2 next. I watched it tonight also. So.
All right. Final thoughts. I kind of know what I think I'm right up there with you, Mike, but I don't know who's the lower, or I don't know. I don't know. Let's let Sam and Albie go first, and then
we'll have our guests go first.
Sam's better at this than me, so I'll go first. Okay. I enjoyed it. I'm going to watch it again soon. I'm going to look for the commentary tonight and probably end my night that way. Just watch it once more with the commentary if I can find it. And definitely going to show it to Serenity before we go see the new movie, just in case there's any like callbacks to it. So that'd be cool to get. And I just thank you for suggesting this, because I probably would have never revisited it, but I really enjoyed it. And I think that's going to be on my list of 80s movies that I go back to often. So overall, it was enjoyable. It was the perfect amount of 80s cheese. I definitely have a different perspective being older watching this, and like nostalgia versus being disappointed, very young child when I saw it last time. And, I'll probably get the 4K when it comes out, all the things. And overall, it was an enjoyable experience. I had fun, and I would give it probably 7.5 missing Orcos out of 10.
Nice. All right. Yeah, this is a movie that I saw when it came out in the theaters, and I've probably seen it, easily 20 times since then. Wow. I really do love it, and I'm surprised that I love it as much as I do. But I feel like there's something, for me personally, there's something effortless about watching it. That I can throw it on, that I want to watch it, that I actually am engaged with it, that I'm not, there are a lot of movies that these days, I'll kind of sit down and it's so easy to get pulled away into, I'll check my phone for this, I'll do this, I'll do that, or whatever. But to have a movie that, feels like an effortless, fun watch, that hits certainly a bit of nostalgia for me, that is tied to this toy line and this story and this franchise that I do really enjoy, but tells its own story in a unique way. That also feels very much like a great realization of a comic book film on screen. It's just, I don't know, a lot of it it just really hits the right spots for me, and I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of it, and I go through phases with certain properties that I love, or I get kind of hyper focused on and whatnot. But this is one of those franchises that will always have a very special place in my heart, because it was probably one of the earliest toy lines that I ever collected. And even as a kid, the fact that my parents indulged me enough to get me the whole line, even the mail away faker that that was so hard to come by for a while, and and bought me the Eternia play set, which was just a huge honking deal back then. And it was something that I loved a great deal and still do. And so this movie really kind of scratches an itch that has not been possible until next week, and we'll see what that's like. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I was honestly, I was sitting probably at about 7.5, but you know what, inspired by what Albie had to say, I'm going to give this 8 defective cosmic keys out of 10.
Nice. Very good.
All right, Mike, you go next. Yeah,
sure. I don't feel I have much to add to what I said earlier. I said, it's a fun action movie. It does keep your attention. Like, it doesn't really slow down at any point. They keep the plot moving along, even though you're kind of dropped right into the middle of a story, which at first was jarring, but in retrospect was actually kind of cool, because you don't see that very often. We're just they're at the worst, and then they end up overcoming all the difficulties of Skeletor. So I felt it was missing still, even now, missing some of the He-Man lore that would have made a better film. I mean, I don't necessarily know all the source material, but but there wasn't even like a nod to Cringer or Battle Cat, or not even a mere mention. But I get it. They were doing their own adaptation. It was enjoyable watch. I'm gonna fall at 6.5 exploding microwaves out of 10.
Yeah, I'm kind of like the same way. I just it's not, as I said at the beginning, I have better appreciation for the movie now than I did back then. And I'm still missing some of that, like you said, with like the transformation from Prince Adam to He-Man, like no Battle Cat. A lot of the characters that we wanted to see, we didn't really see in it. Like, I don't know what Beastman is. I don't know what that is. That's not Beastman, but like okay. But there were the good parts. Like I said, I always wanted to see Skeletor kind of be an equal to He-Man, and I love, let this be our final battle, and this whole thing going on. So some of that I really did like, even if some of it was like a bit cheesy with just the whole like a lot of it was on Earth, and it's just like I would have liked to have seen more of Eternia and the lore, but it was still good. I wasn't like I said, I appreciate it more now than I did back then. I think I'm gonna rate it the same, 6.5 little white sticks out of 10.
I think it shows amazing maturity that none of us decided to rate it out of Dolph Lundgren nipples. So
they were there the whole time.
Oh, were they? Oh, okay. You know what? I'm going to throw this out there real quick. One thing I really appreciated about the film that we hadn't talked about, I love that they gave He-Man a cape.
Yeah. I did like the cape. That was pretty cool.
I like that he had a cape.
Yeah. All right.
I missed the bob cut. No bob.
Oh.
That's what he needed instead of the mullet. But what are you gonna do?
Well, thanks guys for doing this. I know this was kind of a long video, but thanks a lot. I think this was a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I had a great time. Appreciate it. I didn't fall asleep this time.
Yeah. There you go. All right, Albie, where can everybody find you?
Of course, check out the Quantum Leap podcast on YouTube and Trexploration on YouTube, youtube.com/Trexploration. We just covered all the Star Trek themed episodes of the Care Bears with Alison Pregler. So check that out. Our next full review is going to be Skin of Evil from TNG, and we are reviewing Imzadi.
Ooh, nice.
So if you're a Trekkie, check us out, Trexploration. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell. It's Albie's only job, so donate well.
All right, Sam, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Fate's Wide Wheel over on YouTube. And I'll have some new videos coming soon. In the meantime, avail yourself of all of the content that's still there. Plenty of 4K reviews, film reviews, of course, lots of coverage of the Quantum Leap Revival series, including interviews with cast and crew. And you can find Fate's Wide Wheel over on Instagram. You can follow me on TikTok as well, although I don't do a whole lot over there, but feel free to give a follow, because who knows when I'll find time on my hands to post things. My TikTok is mostly just like acting related stuff, videos about being a working actor, a blue collar actor in Chicago. So you can find out what I'm up to as far as that's concerned, and that is about it right now.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for having me. This was great. I really enjoyed getting the chance to talk about this movie. I've never had the chance to do it before, and as you can tell, I'm a fan, so it was fun to do.
Yeah. This was a lot of fun. Yeah. All right, and Mike, where can everybody find us? You want to take us out with it?
Yeah. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more content like this. And for all those other fans of Masters of the Universe out there, send a link to this so they can watch it too.
Yes.
You can leave some comments below. What did you think of the movie? What did you think of Dolph Lundgren's nipples? What did you think of Courtney Cox's pajamas? Whatever. We will do a roundup in future videos. You can also visit our website at fandomentanglement.com, where you can locate all of our past videos and links to our social media channels. We're mostly over there on the YouTube, Facebook, the Blue Sky, and the Mastodon. So until next time, I'm Mike.
I'm Damon.
I'm Albie.
I'm Sam.
And good journey.
Good journey, everyone.
Good journey.
Good journey.
Good journey.